What up, collective, and welcome to another channel podcast. This one is on Ryan Carter Poston. Ryan Poston was a 29-year-old attorney from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, who was murdered by his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Shayna Hubers, on October 12, 2012. Hubers shot Poston 6 times at his Highland Heights, Kentucky condominium. And I'm just going to read the brief rundown of the story for those who don't know. Poston was a Cincinnati-based attorney described by his family as kind, brilliant, and passionate about helping those with limited resources. The night he was killed, he had plans for a date with Audrey Bolt, Miss Ohio 2012. Prosecutors argued that Hubers killed Poston in a fit of rage after he tried to end their turbulent relationship. After the shooting, Hubers called 911 and claimed self-defense. During her police interrogation, she displayed unusual and unremorseful behavior, making morbid jokes, dancing and singing Amazing Grace while alone in the room. Hubers' defense claimed that Poston was abusive and that she acted in self-defense. However, police found no evidence of a struggle at the crime scene. And just to give a quick rundown, she had 2 trials, so which I thought was just crazy because what in the white privilege, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not sure if that happens a lot, okay? But I just know, like, a lot of the true crimes I've heard, I haven't really heard of, like, a lot of, like, trials. But, yeah. In 2015, Hubers was convicted of murder and sentenced to 40 years in prison. The conviction was later overturned when it was discovered that one of the jurors was a convicted felon. In 2018, okay, yeah, that's why, but I still found that crazy. Like, in 2018, a second jury found Hubers guilty of murder, with a judge ultimately sentencing her to life in prison under Kentucky law. Hubers is eligible for parole consideration after serving 20 years. So if you have never heard of this case, it is pretty crazy. She is crazy, and there were a lot of different downloads I was getting when I was stepping into the energy. I was watching Tubi, and I saw that Kendall Ray, who also has a YouTube account, is now on Tubi, and I was just asking Spirit, are there any cases that you guys want me to look into from what she's channeling? And I got a couple, and the first one I got was about Ryan Poston. So we're gonna see what's going on. This is not the first time that I have channeled girlfriend killing boyfriend type of situation. We did the name can't come to me. Jody. We did Jody and Travis a while back, and I believe we did. It was Krishan Rock. It wasn't that they. I think the second karmic couple I looked into was Krishan Rock, even though that wasn't like a full blown murder. And then I did where the boyfriend harmed her. I forgot her name as well. I'm sorry. I do so many, but you guys will be able to look through my podcast and see. But yeah, so we know that there are different karmic circumstances as to why certain people end up in things like this. And let's just get into it. Let's see. Because she still what was the issue is that when I was looking at their Akashics, I saw that he got away with something and she came to collect something back from him, but not in the way that she did. So and I'm feeling him being like that, like, let's talk about this. Like, so she's just crazy also. It's like, she is fucking crazy, and that's him. Like, he would be talking to people and telling them that she's crazy, and he wouldn't even, it's just like so much fear. I feel like he was running around the table. I feel like she was like playing with him, like, like doing shit like that, and like hopping around the table, and he's trying to, like, she's just crazy. Every time that he tried to run away, she would run around. Let's say there's an island in the house or a table, couch. I don't know. I just feel like she's not really shooting him at first. Because he passed, it was in his apartment, I believe, right? Yeah, so it was at his condominium, and there's a spirit of lunacy on her. So you cannot reason with that type of energy. And a lot of masculines who were distorted, abusive kings in past lives align with people like this. Okay, so I'm hearing some of you have even noticed this about someone you have been with before, where they almost triggered that crazy energy out of you, because that's kind of what Ryan was making me feel, is like you almost got overtaken by this energy at times. You know, like the closest thing that he could take me to was like, I've never actually been crazy to the point where I'm going to like step in the way of anybody like that. Like I'm going to kill you. I was kind of like that type of girl where I would be like, I'm going to harm myself and I'm going to, do harm, self-harm and threatening self-harm. I actually did self-harm, which is no joke at all. But, like I would be emotionally manipulative and stuff like that, but work through that as I got older. But there are certain women out here who truly, their parents never gave them the time of day, unless maybe it was, I'm hearing sexual. Shayna. I'm hearing Shayna. That's not her name though, right? Wow. And he's like, who's Shayna? Who's Shayna? So I think that she was throwing things at him and he's like, oh my God, he's so petrified. She's throwing things at him. He don't even have a moment to talk. Okay. It's just the next accusation and then the next accusation. And wow. So why was I saying who's Shayna if that's her name? Oh, I think he was cheating on her, and I think that he was confronted by this other woman that he was seeing, and this other woman says, who's Shayna? And then I think that Shayna's crazy ass finds out about this because she's a fucking super sleuth. That's how I'm hearing it. So Ryan was not the most innocent. Okay, he was having affairs with his assistant. He was having affairs, not deep affairs, but kind of just like hinting around at leaving Shayna, and when I leave her, we're gonna be this and we're gonna do that. And she was already a warless, okay, not a warlock. I'm trying to make it the female version. She was like a warless to this person. Like, you know how a warlock comes to you in the spirit to like take something from you? It's like that's what she was sent to do. But what's crazy is like she was sent to be his karma. So again, we talked about that with Krishan, where if Krishan had healed, that would have like repaired the dynamic between her and Blueface. But because she's choosing something different, it's like bringing him down as well. And it's like, because he was so divinely protected, Ryan, Shayna was going down, but he didn't properly release her. He didn't pray for her. So it's something where Spirit is saying, this is a tale that happens a lot, but it's mainly what I've been noticing is I'm reading for collectives of people who get taken out by the same entity, or same legions of demons where, there's lust, there's greed. They target different chakra areas. Like there are seven different chakra centers, 7 deadly sins. And it's almost like there are like these several different legions of demons that, they're high ranking and they basically operate in the spirit. Okay. And that's what this channel is all about, exploring, because it's hard to clear out karmic blockages and even end cycles like this if you're not looking at the spirit. If you're just blaming the person and saying Shayna is fucking crazy and that's it, put her in jail, we're not tackling a bigger issue. And that is why these things keep repeating. And it seems like while he's trying to go on about his day, that whole day, she was blowing up his phone, pestering him, finding new ways to contact him, trying to, and he was, I'm hearing destroy evidence. So she did destroy evidence, and yes, she did kill him. It was not, now it was kind of self-defense. Okay, I'm hearing her say that it was kind of self-defense. So, but that's not true. It was not self-defense at all. Okay, I mean, I think that's clear as day. Like she said, oh my gosh, if you guys watch just the craziness of this, I was just, I'm not trying to be like that, but goddamn, she was down bad. Like when you really look at her mugshot, it's just, you know, like, it's like I was feeling her higher self, because what I do here also is I look at everybody's side. If it's the criminal, if it's, you know, the victim, if it's, you know, it's all about just the fairness. Okay. And looking, she was making me feel like, you know, how it feels when you really care about somebody. And I feel like but then again, with her coming with this energy, I just feel like no, because I feel like he made it clear to her multiple times. And she, at that point, that is when the contract turns to her more of a, past life loop or something she does again. And that's why I feel like, I think she says at one point, I'm not sure if she says in the when like the police leave her alone in the interrogation room, I think she says, I blew it. I don't know what she says, but that's like a very spiritually conscious moment. She says some spiritually conscious things where her higher self slips through and is talking. And also there's like her lower self, this entity, also just completely happy that she did not get to evolve past what she was supposed to be. So he was a catalyst for her to come into her power. I do feel like he was a twin flame to her. I do feel like that. And that's another reason why this is coming to our collective, because some of you have this part of, you have a little Shayna in you. Okay, we all have had a little Shayna in us where we have allowed a masculine to completely derail us, to completely consume our lives, whether secretly or whether known about. And you know, with her, she embraced hers, and she still does to this day, which is why she was allowed something. Because when you genuinely believe when you genuinely believe in your lies, you kind of can like surpass karma a little bit. So, but it doesn't really last for her because of the fact that it's on his side of things. He wasn't aware that Shayna was the one. This is like a story where, let's say she stopped dealing with him, he would have went on to pursue her. Even though he met her when she was really young. I think he met her when she was 25 or no, 17, 18, no, 19. I think it was 19 and he was 25 or something. But she was the one, okay? I mean, she knew she was the one. She was overly aware that she was the one. And it's like I'm being taken back to this reading I got when I was really young, and I got into like my relationship with the person that, you know, I believe is my twin. And I was asking her, this was like, did I say I was 19? Sorry, this energy moves very fast. I'm also in Shayna's energy, which is just like that. She's very excitable and talkative and childlike in a weird way. But yeah, she was saying how I move like a Ferrari, and the person I was talking to, or the person I was dealing with, move like, you know, they move a lot slower than me. And I had to always be aware of that. It's like, in a way, Spirit let me know that very early in our relationship, because that was going to determine a lot. And I feel like if she would have known that, like, if she would have gotten a reading with your girl, she would have been able to maneuver through this energy, okay? And it's just sad because a lot of people don't really take psychic help. It's like, in a case like this, she just needed a lot of like feminine healing that she just couldn't get from her family. I feel like there's something weird with her cousin when she's younger. Maybe there is like a secret trauma that happened between her and a family member that causes her to really harp on losing intimacy. Because it's like, when she's to sit alone, she's left with a sexual trauma. So it was easier to fixate on Ryan instead. And I'm hearing Travis instead. Okay, so the same exact story with Jody. It was easier to focus, and a lot, and this energy is coming through any divine feminines who are kind of in that energy of fearing turning within. Let this story be an example, okay? I'm hearing that. Just, this is her higher self coming through. This is Shayna's energy coming through. Like, continue to love yourselves. A lot of you are at a place where somebody could be trying to tempt this energy out of you. And I do feel with, in the case where when she was seeing Ryan, she was definitely delirious in a sense of, a lot of you have overcame that, but this is a part that she's missing. She's missing this part where, like, a spiritual component to herself. And not even to be like that, but I have read for people like this where, and other readers, I'm calling other readers who have read for people where, you know, they get love readings, and then you can tell, you can just feel the crazy start to step in. Like, you can feel them internalizing every single word. And, you know, it's like, it's so dangerous that she knew that this was somebody she was supposed to come in and transform, not take out. So I feel when she does this, I literally feel her being like, fuck, like there's a subconscious knowing that was not supposed to be how it went. She let her emotions get to her all over again. So I feel like she was supposed to be on a timeline of her glow up being her revenge. Nine of Cups. This is why I preach this to the Divine Feminine Collective time and time again. Anybody in my collective. Self-love, wholeness, okay? Because it's sad, but a lot of us have traumas out here where we feel entitled to somebody, to the point where when they start to separate themselves or live their own lives, you are left feeling like they left you destroyed, but really it's your trauma leaving you destroyed. It is your trauma that has left you powerless to this trigger. Yes, it's a trigger. It's triggering to deal with somebody, but if you were genuinely working through what you were supposed to, and I'm not gonna say like it's all her fault, because as I said, there's just a genuine, like, nobody is guiding her. Everybody is just undermining her. Like, they just think that she's weird, you know. It's just, now people did really feel like she was crazy, but I don't think that nobody knew that she would ever have done this, ever. Like, even to this day, his parents are completely, like, still, there's somebody who still is shooken up by his death. And then what she said, like the things that she would say after he passed, like, she said that she shot him more times because she wanted to put him out of his misery, even though it was self-defense. And when you listen to the 911 call, it's just like, this girl is so delirious. It's just so, she's so delusional, you know. And it's like, she's genuinely delusional. Like, this is a genuine problem, you know. It's certain women out here who walk around with that frequency, and I've noticed it before. And I'm calling in women like that because you guys need to, for those of you who struggle with that, pray it off of you. Pray off that energy of Jezebelic spirit. Pray off that energy of yearning. Pray off that energy, because as a lady, you are not supposed to be carrying yourself like that. You know, you're not supposed to be carrying yourself like that. And it's not to say, like, I've never been in that position. You guys have heard me talk about how in past lives, that was my karma as well. Learning not to step in front of people and trying to prove my worth to people and recognizing evil eye. And I feel like she was always, there's something on her. Maybe she was into divination, because you know how I brought up readings. And I feel like if she was talking to a psychic, this was making her crazier. Okay, so and that's why I also I really love this reader I just found. Her name is She's a Seer, and she said tarot responsibly. Let that sit. Tarot responsibly. And it's so true. Like, she was not tarot-ing responsibly. It seems like she was getting some information external. Like I said, I don't know if she had like a private investigator, whatever information she was getting on him. Some of it was not like really, like, it was all true, but it was like they weren't together, but it was like she had this knowledge that they were meant to be. So it was putting her in this weird juxtaposition of energy where she always wanted to prevent him from moving forward in any way possible. And I do feel the woman that he was supposed to go on a date with was not going to last, because she was not even really into Ryan like that. And I feel like he had to kind of like talk her into going out with him. So this I think she was Miss Ohio, it said. Yeah, Audrey Bolt. I feel like Shayna had this energy just already on lock. And, you know, if she would have just utilized it correctly and just been like, you know what, I'm going to be in my knowing era. Like, I know, because it's hard when you know that something is not done between you and somebody else. And she could just never let him go. You know, it's just like, because of something that happened where I feel like if she was assaulted and never spoke to somebody, or if it was like she was genuinely in love with someone in her community when she was younger and then they moved away, it's like a trauma that she has where I gotta fight till the end, because maybe she felt like somebody before Ryan was the love of her life and she just kind of had to like settle for him, because I think Ryan is the one who messages Shayna on Facebook. So yeah, he was already in that ladies' man type of like energy, which, you know, a lot of masculines start like that. But he genuinely did start to feel like, you know, she could be a good contender, but she was just too off-putting. Like, she wouldn't even have the decency to like hide her crazy. It's like they could be out somewhere and he would just have to make sure that, wow, everything was like in order. So I know they said she came over to clean his house and she would make that an excuse to like show up and do things. I do see that, but I feel like it was a bachelor pad. So wow, so when they were together, she would pull up on him unannounced and there would be different women there every single night or something. Wow. So, wow. Knight of Wands. Oh my God. Like, I feel her being like that. Oh my God. Like, it's just like this is going to be an AP joke. she was manifesting karmics in his life left and right. Okay, so if you are very tapped in, you know that, especially when you're dealing with someone who mirrors you, okay, let's just say that mirrors your trauma, they're going to manifest your fears, and it's just going to keep happening until you turn your back and focus forward. And that's why people say every time I leave them alone, they come back. You know, it's because really that person was drawn to your energy, but you couldn't notice it because you were too freaking codependent. Okay. And that's how her higher self is, like, that's how her higher self speaks too. So if you guys notice, like, I talk louder on different ones or quieter or whatever, it's their energy coming through. This is how Shayna talks. So yeah, her higher self is well aware, and they want to connect back with her, because it is true that Ryan abused her in some sort of way. Yes, like, it was more so like he knew how much she cared about him, so he would just play in her face, play in her face, play in her face. And I'm not saying he deserved it, but also we're talking about the individual soul's path and what they personally choose to do. There was some aspect of him that was rowdy and manipulative, you know? I mean, he was a fucking lawyer, right? He was an attorney, so he knew his... Now, it's not like it's all ill-intended, because I don't think he even, like I said, he hasn't even had, like, an awakening. He even still on the other side is, like, needing help with understanding why this all happened to him. But it's because he always treated women like shit. He always treated women in past lives very badly, okay? And just in case family is listening, anybody who is family and they feel like they do not appreciate this, I do not mind taking anything down. Again, I am a practicing medium. I take the cases that I have affirmed that are meant to find me, souls that I'm meant to help. So, but at any moment, if anybody connected to his family or in his family feels like it shouldn't be up anymore, I do not mind to take it down out of the respect of the family. But we're looking at the raw Akashic facts of the situation. So we're looking at how he was in ancient Greek times. So he was somebody who was almost like godlike, okay? Like, you know, a lot of masculines felt like superior to women at a certain time period around then, and I think that he was a part of that bunch, like a lot of masculine energies are. That's why when you're a masculine, I'm hearing you're always going to stay that way in every life or something until you learn the lesson, and then you can become feminine. So yeah, or you can activate your healed feminine energy within you. So that's not even activated at all, okay? But it still feels like this was I'm hearing a misunderstanding. He's saying, I feel something on Shayna also, like, telling her how to talk. It's like something is speaking to her in the spirit, like, very fractured in her mind. It's just like, poor girl. You know, that's all you can really say. It's like, she didn't stand a chance herself, because I think that I don't think that people were checking for her. You know, that's what it is. I think that when he initially reaches out to her, she's like very depressed, you know, maybe feeling suicidal. And here in they come, and it's like, my savior. That's how she feels. But she was not supposed to pour her whole life into him. If she would have played it a little lighter, he would have chased her. He would have pursued her. And he was very much into her at the beginning. up until her jealousy started to peek through. So she would make certain comments when they would go out. Like, do you think she's pretty? Do you think I'm fat? Do you think my hair looks ugly? That's very unattractive to a man, okay? That's what the masculine component, that's what the divine masculine energy is coming through. As a lady, if you want to call in a high value man, if you want a man to value you, it's best to not speak in a way that undervalues your worth, especially like comparing yourself to other people that he's been with. It's just like, it makes them think, yeah, maybe you're right. Okay, so because of the fact that you have that feminine pull, you know, so it's like if you're reflecting this energy out, you know, that's kind of what led him to start cheating spiritually, looking at the spiritual energy. And also he was already kind of feeling like he was young, maybe still more to explore. He wouldn't have minded settling down with her. I think that there were times he did talk about that. And it was hard to leave her because I do feel like she was doing some sort of like something sexually to him that he really enjoyed and felt like he couldn't get until he started really exploring. And he was like, oh shit, I can get this from anywhere. I'm really feeling that I can go anywhere to get this. Wow, that's the thought process. But it's not that he didn't have deeper feelings for her. I just feel like when he was going through that energy, she was going through something karmic as well. So they were not reflecting well. It's like almost like I'm seeing two magnets like repelling when they're not supposed to be. There's like a force that's keeping them apart. And I feel like this force is connected to a father or mother on the other side of Ryan. So, So sometimes when your guides know that you're about to come into a connection with a past life mortal enemy, someone who's literally here to destroy you in the spirit, they try to give you signs. And it's like, it's not that they didn't bangs with Shayna. It's just that they just wanted her to heal, you know? And it's like, so his guides were always kind of like pushing her away, ever like, let's try. But the way it's like, I'm hearing we had to push him to hurt her. Like that was the last result type of energy, because he wasn't giving up the karmic bond. So it's good to affirm that people moving forward, especially if you're single, that they have healed from all of these karmic bonds and entanglements, and that your guides and their guides all agree that it's meant to be. You know, it's like, it's something like spiritually, that's what they were overlooking. It's like their guides were trying to come in and say, y'all both need to heal. Like, this is getting out of hand. So there's like a spiritual step in a little bit. But again, nobody is accurately telling her any of this. So, and this is why I say this is an era where a lot of people are going to start seeking out readings, because spiritual energy is going to start making more sense when you can't tie anything into the physical anymore. And that's why people be like, you know, how can people do this? You got to really look at all the layers. I almost felt called to slur, so I'm not sure if she was drinking that day. Wouldn't be surprised. That's always like the culprit. That's always the culprit behind most of these things. But I think she was just purely like, if she was drinking, yes. I am hearing yes, I was. She just looked crazy to me. Like, she just looked crazy to me. Legitimately. Like, genuine crazy. Okay? Like, with Jody, I saw a little bit peeping through. I didn't see much peeping through with Shayna too much. No offense, you know, but... Wow. Damn. So she just comes in straight up, instantly glitching, instantly triggered by this man, and never letting it go. And if you're a masculine listening and you know a woman like this, don't sleep with her anymore. Do a cord cutting, do a ritual, do a best friend ritual, okay? Or a friendship ritual where you make them look at you as a friend or a sibling, like a brotherly love, sisterly love type of energy. I've had to do that with a couple of people who were obsessed with my energy, and be like, sometimes you got to even manifest them not being attracted to you and being attracted to their healing instead. That is what Ryan's energy is coming through and saying. It's good that masculines do this. I know that Malcolm X, when I channeled him, also brought that up. X brought that up about it being very important for masculines to know about cord cuttings, because that's the very thing that's keeping you in a cycle and attracting in the same sort of woman, or you know, for my divine masculines out here who always attract in like Jezebelic type of women trying to control you and stuff, or like just low vibrational, you may have to do some cord cuts, some karma clearing surrounding love, affirming that you repent for anything that you did in a past life that is causing you to attract that type of energy in. Because it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere and it's playing out over to be healed. Okay. All right. So that's mainly what I'm getting on Ryan Poston and Shayna. I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace out.